Your 30s are the make or break decade for wealth building. This is when compound interest either works for you or against you. When career momentum either accelerates or stagnates. When the financial decisions you make determine whether you'll retire comfortably or work until you die. Yet most people in their 30s follow the exact same broken playbook that keeps them financially stuck. They focus on cutting expenses, maxing out their 401 key, and investing in index funds while their income stays flat for years. They treat wealth building like a math problem, instead of understanding it's actually an identity problem. The people who build real wealth in their 30s know something different. They understand 3 strategic moves that accelerate everything, while everyone else is playing it safe and staying broke. Today, I'm breaking down those 3 moves that separate the wealthy from the perpetually stuck. Strategic move 1. Leverage your human capital, not just your money. Here's what nobody tells you about wealth building in your 30s. Your biggest asset isn't your savings account. It's your ability to generate income. Most people obsess over optimizing their investment returns, while completely ignoring the fact that their human capital is worth millions of dollars over their lifetime. Your 30s represent your peak learning and earning years. Your brain is still plastic enough to acquire new skills quickly, but you have enough experience to command serious money for those skills. Yet most people waste this window by staying comfortable in roles that cap their earning potential. The wealthy understand skill stacking. They identify high-value skills that multiply their market rate and systematically acquire them. A software engineer who learns sales can become a technical TO founder. A marketer who understands data analysis can command consultant fees. A manager who develops strategic thinking can move into executive roles. But here's the key. You can't just add random skills. You need to identify the intersection where your existing expertise meets high demand, high pay opportunities. The goal isn't to become average at many things. It's to become exceptional at the specific combination that makes you irreplaceable. I watched a friend transform his career by understanding this principle. He was a decent graphic designer making $60,000 a year, stuck in the same role for 3 years. Instead of just getting better at design, he learned conversion psychology and direct response marketing. Suddenly, he wasn't just a designer. He was someone who could create designs that actually made businesses money. His rate went from $30 an hour to $300 per project within 18 months. The network effect amplifies this strategy. Every skill you develop and every level you reach connects you with people operating at that same level. Your network becomes your net worth. Not because of some motivational quote, but because opportunities flow through relationships. The person making $200,000 a year knows about opportunities that the person making $50,000 never hears about. This is why investing in yourself generates better returns than any stock market index. A $10,000 investment in the right skill development or certification can increase your annual income by $50,000. That's a 500% return in year 1, and it compounds for the rest of your career. The transition from employee mindset to asset mindset happens when you stop seeing yourself as someone who trades time for money and start seeing yourself as someone who creates value that scales. Your human capital becomes the foundation that everything else builds on. Without this shift, all the budgeting and investing advice in the world won't create real wealth. Most people spend their 30s optimizing their expenses while their income stays flat. The wealthy spend their 30s optimizing their income while their expenses become irrelevant. Strategic move 2. Create systems that generate wealth while you sleep. The second strategic move exposes the biggest trap that keeps people working until they die. The active income trap. You're trading your time directly for money, which means your wealth has a hard ceiling determined by how many hours you can work. Even if you optimize your hourly rate to the maximum, you're still fundamentally limited by time. The wealthy understand that real wealth comes from systems that generate money independently of your daily input. But here's where most people get confused by passive income myths. They think passive income means buying rental properties or dividend stocks, and watching money flow in effortlessly. That's not how it works. Real wealth systems require three components working together: business systems, investment systems, and tax systems. Each one amplifies the others, creating compound effects that accelerate wealth accumulation far beyond what any single strategy could achieve. Business system creation starts with building something that operates without your constant involvement. This doesn't mean you need to start the next Amazon. It means creating processes, teams, or products that generate revenue. While you focus on higher-level strategy, a consultant who builds a course that sells automatically has created a business system. A manager who develops processes that run smoothly without their oversight has created operational leverage. The key insight is that you're not just building a business, you're building systems within that business that scale independently. Most entrepreneurs stay stuck because they build themselves into every process. They become the bottleneck instead of the architect. Investment system optimization goes far beyond throwing money into index funds and hoping for the best. The wealthy create strategic positions across different asset classes, understanding how each piece fits into their overall wealth strategy. They use tax-advantaged accounts strategically, understand when to take risks and when to preserve capital, and position themselves to benefit from economic cycles rather than just enduring them. This isn't about picking individual stocks or timing the market. It's about understanding how money flows through the economy and positioning yourself to capture those flows systematically. Real estate, business investments, market positions, and alternative assets all play specific roles in a comprehensive system. Tax system mastery is where most people leave massive amounts of money on the table. The wealthy understand that it's not just about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. They structure their income, investments, and business activities to legally minimize their tax burden while maximizing their wealth accumulation. Business owners can deduct expenses that employees can't. Investors can use depreciation and loss harvesting to reduce taxable income. Strategic timing of income and expenses can shift tax liability to more advantageous years. These aren't loopholes. They're legal strategies written into the tax code specifically to incentivize wealth-building activities. The compound effect happens when these three systems work together. Your business system generates cash flow that feeds your investment system. Your investment system creates tax advantages that reduce your overall burden. Your tax savings get reinvested into business growth, creating a cycle that accelerates over time. Most people make the mistake of trying to build wealth manually. They work harder to make more money, then save that money in basic accounts, then wonder why their wealth grows so slowly. The wealthy build systems that do the work for them, creating leverage that multiplies their efforts exponentially. Strategic move 3. Strategic risk, taking over safety first thinking. The third move requires understanding that the safe path in your 30s is actually the riskiest long-term strategy. While everyone else is playing it safe with their steady job and conservative investments, they're taking the biggest risk of all: the risk of never building real wealth. The wealthy use a calculated risk framework that most people never learn. They don't take blind risks or gamble with their future. They evaluate opportunities based on asymmetric risk profiles, situations where the potential downside is limited, but the upside is unlimited or disproportionately large. Starting a side business while keeping your day job is asymmetric risk. Your downside is the time and small amount of money you invest. Your upside could be financial freedom. Staying in a job that caps your income is symmetric risk. Your upside and downside are both limited, which feels safe, but guarantees mediocrity. The opportunity cost of playing it safe is enormous. Every year you spend in a comfortable but limiting situation is a year you're not building the skills, relationships, and systems that create wealth. Time is your most valuable asset in your 30s, and wasting it on false security is the biggest risk you can take. Your 30s are the optimal decade for strategic bets, because you have enough experience to evaluate opportunities intelligently, but enough time to recover if things don't work out. You're not starting from zero like someone in their 20s, but you don't have the same obligations and risk aversion that often develop in your 40s and 50s. Building your risk tolerance muscle happens through progressive exposure. You start with small calculated risks that build your confidence and experience. Each successful risk teaches you how to evaluate the next opportunity more effectively. The goal isn't to become reckless, it's to become comfortable with intelligent risk-taking. These three moves work together as a system. Your human capital development feeds the systems you build, and those systems provide the foundation that enables strategic risk-taking. Most people try to build wealth through addition, but real transformation happens through identity shifts. Your current beliefs about money, risk, and success will resist these changes. That resistance is normal and expected. Start with one move and build momentum rather than trying to transform everything simultaneously. Subscribe for more strategies that actually work in the real world.